commend you for your steadfastness in the processes. You are the ambassadors of what we want to start doing in Christian pilgrimages.
The Permanent Secretary, Office of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Ifeoma Uzoka, and the leader of the team, Barrister Obiora Nweke, who is the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Pilgrims, while describing the pilgrimage as one of the cardinal points of expression of faith, congratulated the intending pilgrims to be among the chosen, as according to them, they were carefully selected and screened, even as they expressed hope that they will be of good conduct.
For giving us this platform, an umbrella for the pilgrims to express their faith, which is one pilgrimage being one of the cardinal points for expression of faith. These are first family to embark on the pilgrimage with this in this present administration, because we know that they have been carefully selected, screened, and they are worth their mettle.
We want to thank God that it was a successful meeting, it was a successful screening, and the whole project has ended. But we are promising one thing, that next year we are coming up with a bigger platform, a bigger package, because pilgrimage is a yearly thing. So next year we are planning on 2 tours, going on Easter and the general pilgrimage again by December. And a lot will happen by next year, so we are just thanking God for everything He has done for us.
Speaking, one of the intending pilgrims, Surveyor Chukwudi Nzomiwu, thanked the state government for finding them worthy of the trip, promising that they will keep their eyes on the ball and will use the period to pray for divine intervention on the numerous challenges confronting the state and Nigerian nation at the moment.
I don't think the state government should have anything to fear that these people here will not represent Anambra State in the true light of it. I am confident.
The 13 intending pilgrims of the 2022 self-sponsored pilgrimage will embark on the journey on the 26th of December.
The December edition of the monthly sanitation exercise in Anambra State has recorded low compliance in Awka, the capital city, and its environ. ABS Environment correspondent Blessing Uchendo will monitor the exercise, observe the usual human and vehicular movements on streets and major roads in the areas visited at the time of the exercise. Her reports.
However, commercial activities were minimal as most shops and markets were closed. While few persons were seen participating in the exercise, waste evacuation was carried out by the Anambra State Waste Management Authority, ASWAMA, even as men of Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra Ocha Brigade, security agents among others, were seen as strategic locations enforcing compliance. Areas visited included Second Market Ifitoka, Eko Ibo Market Amobia, Nkwamenyi, Ekoka Market, among others. Speaking to the ABS, the Managing Director of ASWAMA, Mr. Mike Ozemena, rated compliance to this month's exercise below 40%. He said that the sanitation was supposed to hold on the last Saturday of this month, but was moved back in order to keep the state clean ahead of the Christmas. He expressed displeasure with non-compliance, especially by some traders, even as he charged residents to always bag their waste properly and maintain a clean and healthy culture.
You don't live with filth, you just have to make sure that we clean up. It wasn't total compliance, but we are trying to do our best, blocking the places, so that we can stop them. I think we are happy with the level of compliance. We need to, as in Anambra, as in Igbo, like Mr. Governor will always say, every Igbo man knows that in the morning you wake up, you sweep your compound.
Some residents who joined in the sanitation, including Joy Nwokoye, Emmanuel Udebunam, and Chinyerume, commended the state government and ASWAMA for cleaning up the state and asked for more sensitization in order to help more people to comply. In Awka, Blessing Uchendo, ABS News.
Rotary International District 9142, in collaboration with Rotary Club of Wuse 2 Abuja, an Exness group has flagged off the 2022 flood disaster relief intervention in Nigeria at Obari local government area. Flagging off the program at Central School at Atani, over 2,000 persons, both aged and young, benefited from the intervention, which featured medical outreach, distribution of relief materials, and empowerment of widows. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibota reports that the beneficiaries were selected from the 16 communities in the local government area. His report.
The beneficiaries were selected from the 16 communities in the local government area. Bags of rice, gari, mosquito nets and other packages worth over 5 million naira were distributed, including 20,000 naira each to over 20 widows. The District Governor of Rotary International District 9142, Mrs. Grace Okaro, who had earlier paid a courtesy visit to the traditional ruler of Atani community, Igwe Azokangode, sympathized with the flood victims and said that the intervention was part of the measures to assist the communities affected by the 2022 flooding to start a new life. Mrs. Okaro, who disclosed that the intervention will extend to other local governments affected by the deluge, appealed to the people to stop building on waterways and called on the government to dredge the Niger River and all its tributaries to ease the impact of the disaster.
To provide succor.
Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, has held its 2022 Children's Christmas Party. Details and more on this report from here.
The event, which took place at ABS headquarters in Oka, had in attendance children, students, teachers, parents, guardians, and friends of the station who turned out in their large numbers to grace the occasion. The party also witnessed special visitation to Santa Claus Grotto, where children were given loads of juicy packages from the Father Christmas, as he is popularly called. In his speech, the chairman, planning committee, and the director of commercial department, Mrs. Beatrice Akwanamie, thanked the children, teachers, parents, and their guardians for their presence, support, and goodwill towards the success of the event. Mrs. Akwanamie encouraged the people to give alms and reach out to the orphans and the less privileged as they celebrate Christmas.
You look forward to coming to the ABS for the Christmas party, and we're happy to host you. Our children having fun? Are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourselves? We want to appreciate you guys, and we pray that this season of Christmas, children, you know what you do? Aside from the eating and the drinking, you also reach out to the less privileged. Hello, children, are we listening? Who can answer amongst you? What is this season all about? What is Christmas all about?
In a remark, one of the parents, Mrs. Loretta Bennett, commended ABS for organizing such a wonderful event and urged the teachers to continue to impact good moral values in the lives of the children and the society at large. One of the children, Miss Nkechi Christopher, described Christmas as a love season and advised her fellow children to be kind to one another at all times.
I feel happy about this place. It was so fun to show love and be kind to other children.
Chairman subcommittee of the event and head of the television, Mrs. Ife Onachukwu, expressed joy over the unprecedented success of the event.
In a similar development, the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Onitsha, has also celebrated the 2022 Children's Christmas Party. The annual event to herald the Christmas festive period featured many side attractions. Ifeoma Okibo has the details.
Declaring the event open, the head of station of ABS Onitsha, Mrs. Ifeoma Udechukwu, in her remarks, described the objectives and aim of it as a way of keeping the children in the Christ, irrespective of the economic hardship in our country, Nigeria, expressing happiness with the turnout of the people that came for the event. She appreciated the organizers and sponsors for the successful acting.
So I thank all the teachers and the school authorities, at least for making it possible to bring us all these pupils and students and children You are welcome in Jesus' name.
In an interview, the head of commercial services, Mr. Valentine Ogwejofo, appreciating God for the gift of life, advising people to celebrate Christmas with good spirit and avoid evil celebration.
No be the moto na Christmas party na Ganiru KBS spoke about Lomaka, the other schools na because Aro no galaga since COVID-19 till now. Adding
their voices, people from various schools, Little Miss Anya Cheta Somtochukwu, Adobe Chukwu Enemo, Ogechi Kame, and Master Cosmas Chijindo were overwhelmed with the Christmas party and the birth of Jesus Christ and prepared for the celebration while advising their fellow children to be of good behavior and obedient to parents while wishing all and sundry Johnny Mercy home and prosperous New Year. The headmistress and teachers, Mrs. Victoria Okoro, Onyinye Kaalo, Amaka Lovett, and Okamaka Ozonna, Mr. Ezo Ufochukwu Fidelix, applauded the management of ABS for deeming it necessary to live up to their social responsibility.
The party is great and superb. I love it. The arrangement is very okay.
In their separate remarks, parents and guidance, Mrs. Amaka Eze and Happiness Anthony, commended management of the ABS for organizing the party, advising them to keep it up, while wishing everyone happy Christmas with good health and joyous New Year. One of the sponsors of the event, the coordinator of Hypo team, Mr. Benjamin Tabu, and Miss Mary Cynthia Nwankwo, was full of joy for the success. The committee chairman, Mrs. Ifieze of Commercial Department, in appreciation, thanked God for the whole success of the event and making the children happy for the birth of Jesus Christ and actualizing today's dream to fullest, advising her guests to always involve God first in whatever they are doing. She observed that despite the economic hardship, the turnout was impressive, promising that next year will be much better.
Next year, God's willing, I know that the economy of this country is going to be more improved. Things will be much better.
Highlights of the event were gift and dance from Santa Claus, cutting of the cake, drama, cultural dance, recitation of different names of Jesus, among others, grammarized events. From Onitsha, Ifeoma Okibo reporting for ABS.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency said over 60 million Nigerians of the total eligible persons targeted for COVID-19 vaccination have been fully vaccinated. The NPHCDA said a proportion represents over 54% of the target population and said over 70 million Nigerians of the target population have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, representing over 65% of the target population. Presenting the COVID-19 milestones, Dr. Adejoke Oladele of the NPHCDA said in November 2020 that with the guidance of the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, the NPHCDA set up the COVID-19 Vaccination Strategy Group and technical working groups comprising government officials, partners and donors to drive the process of COVID-19 vaccination. The progress report of vaccination in the country shows that as of December 14, the top 5 performing states in COVID-19 vaccination are Jigawa, Nasarawa, Osun, Kaduna and Kano. Dr. Oladele added that there is a need to define and implement key interventions to reduce inequalities in vaccination and primary healthcare services in alignment with the government of Nigeria's priorities in reducing the number of zero-dose and under-immunized children. Chaplain Corps Policing Explorers, CHAPOL, has ended a one-day 2022 8th Annual Conference on Moral Values for the students of the 265 government secondary schools in Awka. The theme of this year's conference is Sustaining the Fight Against Social Vices in Government Secondary Schools for Societal Benefits. Correspondent Theophilos Ukoha completes the report.
Declaring the event open, Anambra State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumaude, extolled the doggedness of CHAPOL in inculcating moral values in students, assuring that her ministry will work together with the group to ensure a better learning in Anambra State schools. She described the theme of the conference as a veritable instrument to fight social vices in government secondary schools.
Mr. Governor, with his passion for education, is so much interested in this scholarship scheme. And he has provided money, he has provided their school fees, and he is even spreading or getting more students to queue into this scholarship scheme. The people who are qualified are the very poor and the indigent.
Speaking on the topic, the consequences of indulging in cultism in secondary schools, Chief Inspector of Education, Delta State Minister of Education, Dr. Cyril Okoye, challenged the students to consciously avoid indulging in cultism as its consequences, both now and in the future, stagnate the social well-being of the culprit.
Anything that is done right now that is not good for your future, you have the right to resist it. The kind of value system, the kind of moral system, the kind of cultural things that we have, we are already there. So when the child is growing up and the child is taught those simple values, by the time you are handing over that child to the secondary educators, the child is not something to school. Unfortunately, the quest for multiple streams of income has collapsed the home based school.
On the spot, Pastor Sam Obiora, Senior Pastor, Life of Faith Assembly International Nsube, took the students on how to overcome peer influence in secondary schools, urging them to be focused and to discover their true identity. In his address, the State Commandant Chapo, Commandant Joseph Ekunife, illustrates the journey of Chapo since 2013 in ensuring that students of secondary schools in the state imbibe moral rectitude to raise morally sound and God-fearing youths for a better future of Anambra State and Nigeria at large.
Our mission of doing everything we are doing in schools is to raise among citizens a future generation of our parents that will be moral independent, mental well-being, and spiritual backgrounds. So at the end of it all, we'll keep on reproducing the future social goals. Reproducing the future goes into Roland, reproducing the future of the Chicago, until we produce students or youths that can be able to hold the future and along the future. The fathers can always.
Others who spoke at the event include Barrister Titus Abudo, Asatu President General, Chief Lawrence Anibe, Chief Chukwuemeka Udodeme, President General Ohaneze Ndibo Worldwide, Dr. Nelson Omeno, a Special Advisor to Governor Soludo on Youth Empowerment, represented by Honorable Tochukwu Chiwoba, among others. There was a special drama presentation by students of Community Secondary School Opono on the topic Pay Now and Play Later. The event climaxed with unveiling of the book Out of the Crowd Season 2, written by State Commandant Chapo, Commandant Ekunife, and award a scholarship to some best students. Theophilus Okoha reporting for ABS News.
The United Nations General Assembly has approved postponing its decision on whether Myanmar's military government and Afghanistan's Taliban leaders can send ambassadors to the UN in New York, with the Assembly also deferring its decision on rival claims to Libya's UN seats. The 193-member General Assembly approved the consensus, a recommendation by each Credentials Committee to delay the votes on the matters. The postponement means the current envoys of Myanmar, Afghanistan and Libya remain in place. The votes could now be postponed to a future date to the ongoing 77th session of the General Assembly, which expires in September 2023. UN acceptance of ambassadors from Myanmar's military government, the Taliban in Kabul, and Libya's Eastern Bar government would act as the first step towards their official recognition on the global stage. Myanmar's military rulers have been attempting to fill the country's UN seat since the country's democratically elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi was removed from power and later imprisoned following a military coup last year. The General Assembly's decision will keep Kaya Montun, a diplomat of Aung San Suu Kyi's former government, in her seat. Algeria has submitted a bid to host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, its football federation said, after Guinea was stripped of the tournament as its infrastructure is not ready. The Cairo-based Confederation of African Football has also received bids by Algeria's neighbor and arch-rival Morocco, as well as a joint bid by Nigeria and Benin, he said. Algeria Sports said Youth Minister said Tuesday that the country's application was solid and consistent. Algeria had already said in early October that it would bid to host the cup. This after Guinea's president Patrice Motsepe said the country had been stripped of the task. CAF will inspect facilities in January before announcing a final decision the following months. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS in many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. Follow us on ABS Radio Television Orca. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Television Orca and follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website. It's www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Anambra Deputy Governor Ibe Ezim has urged a 2022 intending pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the state. Rotary International has commenced 2022 flood disaster relief interventions at Atani, Owara Council area. United Nations has postponed a decision on ambassadorial status from Myanmar, Taliban, and Libya. Here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that ends the breakfast news at this time on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. I am Priska Wangpo. Good morning and happy Sunday.
you.